4,280 pounds, the Rockwood 2109S here at Haylet RV of Coldwater, Michigan. This is a very lightweight, short-length, tandem axle, easy towing couples camper, carpetless, full access with the slide closed, and that big front windshield that Rockwood's been doing longer than anybody else. This is one of those floor plans where it makes the biggest impact because it really helps open this one up inside. Now it takes about 2 seconds of looking at this one with the slide closed to realize this camper doesn't even need a slide out. It's just much better with a slide out. You have 100% access to pretty much everything in the whole camper, even with the slide out closed. Now one of the questions I get all the time is, can we swap that sofa out for something else? And the answer is no, you can't. And the reason being, it looks like the sofa goes all the way to the floor. But if you look over here, you see that it actually does not. It's a like a false bottom sofa. They make it look like a normal sofa, but the slide out is actually above the floor due to the location of the wheel wells on this one. So it has to be that kind of slide out. It has to be that sort of furniture arrangement to make this one work. But I think as we go through, you'll see that they figured out enough super effective ways around everything that you're not going to feel like you're settling or disappointed with what you get. And this floor plan really is such a good example of how even a small slide makes a big difference. It opens it up in here so much, it's not even funny. Now, it is really important on a Rockwood, more so than almost any other brand, to mention that the one that we have in stock, it could be equipped the same, but it could look drastically different from this. This is typically how we tend to bring them in here at Haylet RV, but not, there are certain instances where we will have a different sort of decor package. Like this has the wood plank print flooring. This is called the chocolate decor on the fabrics, with the maple hardwood cabinet upgrade. And what that does is it changes the cabinet wood tone slightly. It gives it a little bit richer appearance, but you also do upgrade to maple hardwood cabinet doors as opposed to flat panel doors, as is the standard wood package in these. So again, it could look very different from the one that we have here. So again, what's cool? We are carpetless. We are easy cleaning. There are no heat vents in the floor to collect dirt and debris. Rockwood's, actually, I think it's one of the things that helps them with their structural records is they ride on a, frankly, overbuilt floor. They ride on a floor construction methodology that is above and beyond what an RV this size really requires. Most campers in this size, in this floor plan, are going to run on a laminated floor, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. Rockwood's, though, they made the decision a couple years ago. They have a tongue and groove plywood floor deck that's 5/8 inches thick, on top of 2x3 aluminum studs that run every 12 inches on center. They have such a ridiculous overstrength, overbuilt floor in these, it's not even funny. Now, as I mentioned outside, we've got that front windshield here. Everybody and their brother seems to be coming out with some kind of front windshield or front window or whatever now. Rockwood never quit. Everybody else is just recreating what Rockwood never stopped doing. They were the first to put a bonded automotive windshield in something this class. They were the, well, not the last to get away from, but they never went away from a front window or anything. So they've been doing it longer. They have more experience with it. And this floor plan specifically opens up and feels so much larger in here as a result. Now you do have your dual side stands. You've got outlets of all varieties on this side below that closet there. Note that we do have a full overhead cabinet, and they do use a better pocket screwed cabinetry methodology here with lumber core cabinets versus, you know, the contrast. What could be less expensive, but maybe not quite as lasting in terms of longevity, would be a particle board cabinet or press board or whatever you want to call it with staples holding it together. Now over here, instead of outlets, you actually do have an extra little utility drawer right there. And of course there are privacy shades for all these windows here. Now if I stand back at the sofa level, you see that the TV does swing out for easy visibility. And man, I tell you, when the lights hit that cabinetry, what a beautiful combination in here. Their decors are so rich and upscale. It really matches the product very well, because rich and upscale are two descriptors you can use very nicely for the Rockwood RVs. Now, another thing that's kind of cool is the underbed storage you have going on in this little mini Lite. First, if we take note, when you lift the bed deck up, you see that it's got an all aluminum skeleton. Anything Rockwood builds like this, any furniture they build that you might sit or sleep on, is always an aluminum skeleton. This model in particular does not have a dinette, but if it did, it'd have an aluminum skeleton. That's how Rockwood does it. Then when you get up here, you see something kind of cool and interesting. They actually do a two-tier storage area at the foot of the bed, and they spend more money doing this because adding all the extra drawer hardware and the labor and stuff it takes to do this costs more money, but it also gives you much easier access to storage here. And really, this kind of doubles as your dresser. You want a little space for socks and underwear, some t-shirts or something, you got a perfect spot for it. And this could be either general storage, or once again, it could be something in the way of, I guess you could call it like a storage clothing trunk, you know? Now, this is a couple's camper, but you might notice that we do have a full front privacy curtain. Now, that can be handy if we are trying to do a daytime little quick change of clothing, so you don't have to go through and necessarily like, you know, close every single window shade or anything like that. But it can also be handy if we do have, say, like a grandkid or someone, like a guest on the little fold-down sofa over here, so that we do have that extra guest sleeping space when one of the littles does come along. Now from there we can blow her open to just check out a whole bunch of storage space. But first I do want to look at, as soon as the camera cooperates after the backlighting from the window there, you do have full overhead slide storage here. It's easy to miss, but it's really important that it's there. Extra handy little space. You'll never regret having it, but you might regret not having it. While we are spinning around like a record baby, I do want to point out the fact that we do have double ducted central air in this little camper. And that is a detail right there that is very often overlooked by other brands who build a very similar floor plan. Usually a camper this size will have what's called a drop-in air, which is when you don't have air ducts that go through the roof. Rockwood still centralizes their air even in this little thing right here to improve your airflow efficiency to its maximum capacity. I think that's just a neat little detail. Now, we talked about the TV from the sofa arrangement, but you can see that obviously it'll pivot over to face the bed. You could probably still even watch TV from the toilet, were you so inclined. While we are talking entertainment, right below that, we have our IRV brand DVD, stereo, Bluetooth, and what's cool about that is you can get the IRV app for your phone and use your phone like a Bluetooth remote control. And Rockwoods have a thing called the Wi-Fi Ranger, which is essentially a built-in router that gives you greater and easier access to mobile data sources. If you'd like more info on that, we've done videos on that, or you can give our guys a call. Now you see, those overhead cabinet doors are strutted. We have that full pantry with removable shelving, which can convert into an additional closet right by the door. Now, the whole camper, as we've seen, is travel friendly, but that's just travel friendlier. And then we get down to the countertop, and we see that it is solid surface counters throughout, and that's standard. That's what's so cool about Rockwood. They took so many features that are optional or not even available other places, and they just standardized them. In terms of pound for pound equipment, if money's not an issue, usually Rockwood's a brand that people are going to go with because they just, generally speaking, have more gear on them than most other brands. You've got a matching solid countertop extension over here, flush mount stove to maximize prep space, and then to give you basically maximum possible prep space, you've got a recessed stainless double sink with split sink cover. So if you want to take those sections off individually, you can, and a big old breeze window there in the kitchen. Now down below, we got Drawer-mageddon going on. This thing just explodes and all the storage comes to you, and I think that's one of the things I like when I see in an RV, when storage comes to you instead of you reaching for the storage. And just a very snazzy looking stove on the front of this thing. It just looks great. And notice too that Rockwood uses a larger 22-inch stove as opposed to a more common, smaller 16-inch variety. So this is all well and good. We've got a nice kitchen space. We have a nice living space. So the question begs, where do I eat? Well, guess what? Rockwood has a solution for that here for you too. It's one of the other things we like about having the 2109S here at Haylett RV. They do a cool little free-floating hideaway table. Those legs fold right up. It can actually store right behind the sofa. If you have eagle eyes, you might have actually spotted the feet of it, maybe sticking up just past those nice cushions back there. But it gives you enough space for couples to like sit down and have a meal. Or if you have guests, since you have all this extra floor space, you could put a couple chairs on the back side of it and, you know, play a couple hands of cards with some friends or whatever, you know, whatever you feel like doing. And the little details too of like having little cup holders on both sides, those things are so handy to just help improve your daily use and enjoyment of it. Now, it throws a lot of people off initially that this door here is slotted, meaning it doesn't go all the way up to the ceiling. And it's not that Rockwood people in the construction level in the shops aren't smart enough to know how to do it. It's that they leave it that way on purpose, because Rockwood uses a larger max air vent fan here, and they also include a roof vent cover on this thing so that you get better airflow even on a rainy day, which is just a darn handy thing. Now, as we look below, something Rockwood's always good about is giving you some very good linen space in a bathroom, even in a small bathroom like this, so you don't have to constantly go outside of the bathroom to get towels. Now we've got a foot flush stool here set on an angle, so there's plenty of leg room, which I think anyone like me with long legs will appreciate. But there's also enough room on each side of the toilet for folks who have maybe bigger hips or broader shoulders. You can sit there comfortably as well. Another reason I like to talk about bigger hips and broader shoulders is not just my personal preferences and things, but the fact that we have a bigger radius shower here. And that makes it a lot more comfortable. Now, this RV does have a miniature roof vault. It does vault 2.5 inches. I haven't really talked about that yet like I normally do. But one of the areas where it's very handy is here in the shower. Now, another thing is Rockwoods have a laminated roof. What is cool about that is they can place a skylight exactly anywhere they want. So they moved the skylight all the way to the sidewall to maximize the effective headroom that a tall person like me would experience when they get in the shower. Now, handy things like the little shower caddy here to keep your shampoos from constantly falling off these worthless plastic shelves. That stuff is just Rockwood doing Rockwood things. They always take it to the next level. And this is called the shower miser. Basically, guys, if you're dry camping, this is a way that any water that would come through the shower actually recycles back into your freshwater tank so that you're not wasting a single drop of fresh water when you are doing a boondocking shower. Now, they actually include a nice vanity over here with the full mirror. And then again, Rockwood doing Rockwood things with the nice touches. Things like the towel ring, the little soap holder, the toothbrush organizers. That stuff keeps your countertop clutter-free. So they could give you a bigger sink, which is just another one of those things that is just nice for daily use operation and just more comfortable ease of enjoyment. This one also has a bunch of really high-class details on the exterior that they catch your eye at first and they'll catch your attention, but the closer you look, the more you realize they're really smart function items on this as well. They're, you know, not just going to be eye candy, but they're going to keep you satisfied with it the longer you look at it. Little easy detail stuff like magnet holdbacks, those are becoming more and more common. They're still not 100% across the board, so I still point them out when I see them. But this one, holy cow. This one has a massive front pass-through compartment right here. Now you might be wondering, what is that little radius bend over there? There's something over there like I think the water heater that basically they don't want shifting cargo to damage, so they do just kind of shield that off a little bit. But short of that, this is a good area to get to see a lot of that aluminum structure that goes through the Rockwood skeletons. As we get back up here, we do have a simple side mount solar prep. This camper is nice and small and easy to park in the shade, so you can put the panel out in the sun and move it around during the day. And all LED tail and marker lights is a neat little thing that you'll find on these mini lights. And that's something Rockwood does across the board. And that's actually really what's kind of cool about Rockwood. The mini light is one of their smaller series of travel trailers. It's built effectively exactly the same as the largest Rockwood signature travel trailer or fifth wheel that they also built. They have one basically method that they apply to it. Then it's just a matter of like trim packages, but all the core critical stuff is always there. If you compare Rockwood to anything else in a similar size category, they generally almost always have a higher level equipment package. That's just what these guys do. They understand that not everyone wants a 40-foot camper for retirement. There are a lot of people who want a small but very nice, well-constructed travel trailer. Well, that's what this is. If you're looking for the last one, Rockwood definitely qualifies. Things that are also nice, like you see the power tongue jack, you know, power awning, but Rockwood uses higher grade motors in their stuff so that it moves faster, lasts longer, stronger. 30-pound propane tanks to extend your time between, you know, refills and swap outs, exchanges. This has an enclosed underbelly, so you do have that extra protection from those overnight snap freezes or a just like critters or debris thrown from the road. While we're talking about road stuff, let's talk suspension. Rockwoods don't ride on a leaf spring. They ride on a four-wheel independent torsion axle suspension system right here. What that means basically, guys, is that those axles transfer stress from high to low, and what that effectively equates to is this thing will corner like it's on rails, and it will turn more sharply when you're jackknifing into a parking space without tire scrub. Now, I don't really see, like, we have a lot of campers here that come in with wide stance spread axle design. It's very common, very popular, and very effective. It's less money than the torsion axle system, but you could, in theory, say it's going to scrub the tires a little more. I've never really seen it become a problem, but I don't know, to each their own. And especially on a short trailer like this, you don't really see a lot of spread axles ever. If you go around a trailer at high speeds, this Rockwood will, instead of lean off the road, it will try to lean back into the turn, kind of like you would lean into the turn if you're riding a bicycle. Sort of the same thing. That's what the trailer's going to do here, try to stay level. Centralized hookups next to your whole sewer outlet station over here with black tank flush and outside utility shower. We are ready for, backup only or in motion rear view observation cameras. Not only do they put a spare tire on the back of these, but they also give you a nice little cover for them to keep it protected from the weather and the debris and everything. They also put the biggest awning on this thing they possibly could, because if the awning was any larger, it would either fall off the back of the camper or it would cover part of that huge front pass-through storage compartment door, and you certainly don't want that. Now, you also have a anti-slam entry door here, which is really important, because if the wind caught that door and it smacked open against that kitchen speaker, it'd be a problem. So Rockwood puts a better door hinge system on this to prevent that. They also use the much larger folding handle on these for easier come and go. And speaking of that, that's part of the reason they also use these new MORride steps here with those adjustable foot pegs. Now, one thing that is nice about the double step system right here is it doesn't really stick out any further than a set of traditional steel folding steps. So when you swing those down, if the camper's parked in a storage depot or something like that, if you're parked really close to the camper next to you, it's a lot easier to get in and out of these, even with those stable steps. We already talked about the axles, and I'm sure you can see, but aluminum wheels look sharp. But over here under the awning, which is LED lit, by the way, we have a couple things. We have both a grilling station and an outdoor entertainment setup. So that's the TV from inside the camper. It can float outdoors if you'd like to kind of, whether you're watching a game, the race, watching the news, or just looking for just noise. You know, if you just want to have some kind of sound going on your website, music, a general TV show that you're just drowning out, whatever. And we do have an outside grill hookup here as well. So if you do want to do all kinds of outdoor grilling, oh, by the way, not only does this have an outside grill hookup, it includes a full outside RVQ grill. It's just brand new in the box and I haven't pulled it out yet. But you will see that you also have this handy little galvanized rolled steel little side table there. So if you're looking to use it as like prep space or for a platter, or just set a drink on it or whatever. Anytime you have a horizontal flat space, guys, I can promise you, you're going to find something to do with it. Now, a lot of times when I climb up those rear ladders and I get on top of an RV, there's not a whole lot to talk about. I can admit that. It's really not the case in a Rockwood. Even on the roof, they do some great things. Now, in the past, they had color keyed their roof to the sidewalls. And they got away from that because it was generating a lot of extra interior heat. So they're always paying attention to product improvement and customer experience things. Their goal is not just how can we sell more campers, but how can we get people to enjoy the campers that they buy from us. I think that's an important distinction. Now, one of the things I like to point up here is they are just crazy heavy-handed to the point of near comical nature in the way that they seal all the roof components up here. And another thing is, you notice how I'm just walking around all the way up here. This has a laminated, and I swear it's like it has no flex to it whatsoever, walk-on roof. And I'm about a 200-pound, 6'2", 6'3" guy. I'm a decent-sized dude, you know? And for this roof to feel like this under me, I feel more confident walking on a Rockwood roof than nearly anything else out there. I'll say that Cougars generally feel pretty good under me, too. So here's the Wi-Fi Ranger. They recently updated it to a double antenna system to give you better signal retention, reliability, just better, effectively, without getting super technical, because that's going to bore people. And over here, above the bathroom, we have that Max Air vent fan cover, and then we got this funky little thing right here. This is the chimney cap for your black tank, because you do have to let your black tank have some level of exhaust, or else, the decomposition process will cause, backflow of fumes up through the toilet into the camper, and nobody wants that. What this basically is, guys, is it's like an upside-down airplane wing. So what it's doing is it's basically pulling like all of those potential fumes from the black tank out of the tank and exhausting them. So the idea is, no sort of backflow of odors from your toilet into your RV. And I think that's something that everybody can appreciate. Now, we're a huge place, guys. We're actually the largest independent dealer in the state of Michigan. And, you know, we don't sell this many by offering bad deals to folks. And we're in a small town, so we don't sell this many campers just to the local populace. So understand, it doesn't matter where you live, it doesn't matter how far away you are. We make deals happen. And all we need to do that is just a phone call, an opportunity. All we need is a fair chance to make that happen. And I don't think you'll be disappointed with us. So, whether it is hitching, pieces, parts, trades financing, truck and trailer package deals, RV delivery, and everything in between, we do it all for you at Haylett RV. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.